Well, Rob Harris from Sky News has joined us because FIFA has warned of a threatened mass revolt and legal action that's been warned by the world's footballers and leagues over its new Club World Cup amid welfare concerns. Rob, you've been delving into this story today. The Global Players Union, FIFPro, and the World Leagues Forum, who are they, have written to FIFA. What have they said?
Yeah, it's a letter that I've obtained that's been sent to Gianni Infantino complaining about the saturated football calendar and in particular the addition of the expanded Club World Cup from next year. And they just think there's not enough space in the calendar and it's harming the welfare of players risking injury, and they believe they've not been consulted, reflecting concerns I heard recently from Richard Masters, the Premier League chief executive, who's part of the World Leagues Forum. And people might not be familiar with this new Club World Cup necessarily. We're used to the annual edition, 7 teams that Manchester City won in December. That's on the way out. In its place, a new 32-team competition every 4 years, beginning in 2025, with Manchester City and Chelsea having qualified as recent Champions League winners.
So what does this mean for Premier League players?
Well, a lot more games, and that is the concern of the unions in particular. I think they're being strained to the point of exhaustion, being able to handle all these extra games, and they've not been consulted about the calendar. They think they should be a bigger part of this conversation if you're adding so many more matches. And in part, you know, this letter, we can see some of it now on the screen. It does say that we shall be compelled to advise our members on the options available to them, both individually and collectively, to proactively safeguard their interests. This letter from FIFA and the World Leagues Association goes on. FIFA has continually and consistently made unilateral decisions that benefit its own competitions and commercial interests while negatively affecting national leagues and players. Over a significant period, FIFA has ignored repeated attempts by leagues and unions to engage on this issue. And they go on, as a result of FIFA's recent strategy of expanding its own competitions, the calendar is now beyond saturation to the point that national leagues are unable to properly organise their competitions, resulting in economic harm, whereas players are being pushed beyond their limits with significant injury risks and impacts on their welfare and fundamental rights. Now, that letter also referencing the expanded World Cup going up to 48 teams from 2026. The threat is they'll pursue legal action if they don't change the Club World Cup. This all coming to a head ahead of the FIFA Congress next week.
Well, this is all part of Infantino's grand vision for FIFA going forward. It's part of a power struggle in a way between FIFA and UEFA. Any word from FIFA in response to these developments?
No official word. They have been consistently, though, trying to say they're about expanding the global game. They're trying to look beyond Europe to help South American teams, Asian teams, African teams, Oceania teams all get more of a sort of part of the global competitions. And having a better Club World Cup, they think, helps to level the playing field. Just last week, Gianni Infantino in the US, where he's based, very much so now talking to MLS clubs, saying you need to sign some more of the best players to grow in the game globally. But certainly this will be unwelcome for FIFA and Gianni Infantino going into meetings in Bangkok next week. But they're in partnership with the clubs on this. The European Club Association, headed by the Qatari Nasser Al Khalifi, they've got a joint commercial deal to sell the rights. So FIFA have got the clubs on board, but they haven't got the leagues or the players.